So it's early 2026, and we are looking at a really pivotal moment for a company that, let's be honest, fundamentally influences how most of us live and work.
For sure. We're talking about that one global tech behemoth, the one that really sets the agenda for everyone else.
And the sources we have today, they cut right to the heart of it. We've got an official SEC filing, and inside that, a letter from the CEO himself, Tim Cook.
Right. It's addressed to shareholders, and it's just ahead of their annual meeting.
This is that moment, where the company stops just talking about the past year and really starts to lay out its strategic bets for the future.
It's so much more than just corporate fluff. When a leader of this magnitude files a statement with the Securities and Exchange Commission, it's a legally grounded roadmap.
A declaration of strategy.
Exactly. It's a signal to the entire global market. And Cook, he doesn't bury the lead here. He starts right out of the gate by proclaiming he has never been so optimistic about the future.
Never been so optimistic. That's a huge claim.
It is. And so our mission today is to really define what specific, concrete evidence is actually underpinning that extreme confidence.
Yeah, we are absolutely not here for the polished marketing language. We're here for the specifics.
Yeah.
Because for you, the listener, you need to know what they're actually investing in.
Whether that's your capital or just your time and attention.
Exactly. So we're going to extract the real technological advancements, the details on the newest iPhones, their designs. We'll dissect the strategic vision for AI.
What Apple Intelligence even means in practice.
Right. And we're going to scrutinize the surprisingly detailed specifics on leadership changes.
Yeah.
And, yes, executive compensation, because that reveals a lot about the internal dynamics.
This deep dive is really for you, the person who wants to cut through all that noise. We're grounding every single claim in verifiable company statements, primarily from that January 2026 SEC filing.
So we're going from, the most slender iPhone ever created,
all the way to the massive pay premium that was paid to the new chief financial officer. It really shows how money is dictating talent right now.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start right where Cook starts, with that core message and that headline-grabbing statement of extreme optimism.
So the initial context of this letter is fundamentally crucial. It's the official invitation to the 2026 annual shareholder meeting,
which is set for February 24th, 2026.
Exactly. And this is, a legally required formality, but Cook uses it as a platform. It's explicitly positioned as a time to review and celebrate the progress from the past year.
But that opening sentence, it just sets the tone for the entire thing. He's declaring a level of confidence that is, it's genuinely striking for an official corporate statement.
Especially from him. He's known for being very measured, very deliberate.
Right. So to claim he's never been so optimistic, that just elevates this whole thing from, standard annual cheerleading to something much more. It feels like a strategic declaration that has to be backed by something monumental.
I think it signals to the market, to investors, that the company believes it's at a true inflection point. That level of optimism, it isn't built on just incremental improvements.
A slightly better camera or a marginally faster chip?
No. It suggests they believe their recent massive investments in foundational tech, we're talking custom silicon, AI architecture, are about to deliver exponential growth, maybe even open up entirely new markets.
So it's a declaration that the hard work, the foundational work is done.
And now the harvest begins.
So what's the underlying mechanism here? What's driving this confidence? According to the letter, it's the idea that their products are entering our lives in more and more meaningful ways.
That's the core theme, pushing technological boundaries, but not just for the sake of it. The goal is to help people unleash their potential and enrich their lives.
Unleash their potential. That's classic corporate language.
It is, but it's designed to connect these tech breakthroughs directly to user empowerment. It reframes the products, the phones, the computers, not just as gadgets you buy and replace,
but as essential tools.
Necessary tools for personal, for professional, for creative advancement, and this positioning lets them talk about innovation and values in the same breath.
Which brings up a really important point. They're trying to position themselves as not just the most innovative, but the most trustworthy, especially with this new wave of AI.
Precisely. The letter immediately connects all this innovation to core corporate values. It shows that the how is just as important as the what.
And what are those values specifically?
Well, they emphasize their unwavering commitment to protecting user privacy and security.
Which is their foundational competitive advantage in the AI space, right? Their competitors are all about cloud-based processing of user data.
It's a very clear line in the sand. They're essentially saying our AI will be powerful, but it will be inherently private and secure.
They also stress driving accessibility, making sure the benefits of all this tech reach more people globally. It's the statement of responsibility.
And that commitment to accessibility is so crucial right now in 2026 because this divide between who benefits from AI and who gets left behind, it's a growing social and economic tension.
So by focusing on accessibility, they're trying to broaden their market while also maybe fulfilling a corporate mandate.
And they ground this in tangible impact, moving beyond just sales numbers. The letter specifically mentions providing tools for students and teachers globally.
To support skill learning and creativity, it feels like they're casting a really wide net, emphasizing utility in education, community, even economic mobility.
This is sophisticated strategic storytelling. It's targeted at investors who are increasingly focused on ESG factors, environmental, social, and governance.
So they're highlighting these anecdotes of users starting businesses, creating art.
Right. By framing the company's success through the lens of user inspiration, they solidify their position not just as a seller of high-margin devices, but as an enabler of societal progress, which is a very effective defense against potential regulatory scrutiny.
Okay, but let's challenge that optimism for a second. I mean, this is a CEO. He's required to be optimistic. What specifically, besides this abstract idea of unleashed potential, makes him never so optimistic?
I think if you connect it back to the bigger picture, the confidence is rooted in the completion of this multi-year effort to lay the foundational infrastructure.
They didn't just decide to do AI last year.
Exactly. They've spent years developing the custom chips, optimizing the operating systems, building out the services division. The optimism comes from the fact that all those pieces are now perfectly aligned.
The chips, the design, the services.
All of it. It's all aligned to support the next biggest strategic phase, which is on-device artificial intelligence. It's an architectural victory that is finally ready to translate into product dominance.
That makes a lot of sense. So the unprecedented optimism is really about this synergy finally clicking into place.
It's a declaration that the hardware investments have matured into an AI-ready ecosystem.
Which means we need to examine the specific product successes that he claims are underpinning this entire strategic shift.
Let's dive right into the core product line that Cook is championing. Because at the end of the day, the iPhone is still the financial cornerstone of the business.
And the 2025-2026 generation of phones is clearly the centerpiece here. The letter explicitly names two distinct variants that are driving this hardware narrative.
First, you have the iPhone 17 Pro. This is still the performance champion.
Right. It's touted as having the most powerful performance in history.
Yeah.
This is what we expect, you know. Continued dominance in raw processing power, likely driven by the new M5 chip. We'll get to that.
But the truly fascinating entry, I think, is the iPhone Air.
Described with one single defining characteristic, the most slender iPhone ever.
And that is a profound strategic decision. It's not just a technical one. The Air name is deliberately chosen. It's meant to evoke that revolutionary lightness that redefined the MacBook line years ago.
So it signals that slimness, lightness, that kind of design reductionism is now a top-tier strategic goal. They might be moving away from the thicker, performance-first chassis we've gotten used to.
I think we need to linger on that contrast. They're simultaneously claiming the most powerful phone with the Pro and the most slender phone with the Air.
That's a fundamental tension.
A huge engineering tension. And the full line, including the standard iPhone 17, supposedly saw big elevations across 3 key areas. The letter says these are what users value most.
And those 3 pillars are?
The imaging system, overall performance capabilities, and the notoriously difficult goal of achieving reliable all-day battery life.
So if they're actually delivering the most slender iPhone ever with the Air, while also achieving all-day battery life and history's most powerful performance in the Pro,
it suggests they've had a monumental breakthrough in silicon efficiency and thermal management.
That's the triangle of engineering difficulty, right? Usually you maximize one of those, you have to compromise the other 2.
To get all 3 at once, thinness, power, and endurance, it requires a total reimagining of the internal architecture.
Which brings us directly to the engine powering all of this.
Yeah.
The custom silicon strategy.
Yes. The letter puts heavy emphasis on the M5 chip, the newest generation. But what's really crucial here is its deployment strategy.
It's not just in the phones.
Not at all. It's powering the iPad Pro, the MacBook Pro, and the spatial computing headset, the Vision Pro. This consistency is the absolute backbone of their ecosystem strategy.
The integration story is paramount. The emphasis that Apple Silicon has used across the entire product line, from entry-level stuff to the most advanced workstations, it just reinforces this idea of a unified, singular architectural approach.
And that level of control is unique in the industry. It means they can tailor performance and energy consumption for specific tasks. Every device speaks the same performance language.
And critically, the same AI processing language.
Think about what that means for developers and for the AI itself. A unified architecture means an AI model trained on a MacBook Pro with an M5 can run seamlessly, locally, and privately on an iPhone 17 with a variant of that same M5.
This is how they ensure outstanding performance and maintain that privacy promise across all devices.
Right.
And this internal consistency allows for greater optimization, especially when you talk about cross-platform experiences.
Which brings us to the new aesthetic they introduced.
Yes, this one detail just leaps off the page, the introduction of liquid glass.
For a company obsessed with material science and design, this implies a fundamental shift.
This is a major, yet subtle strategic detail that we need to dissect. The source material notes that liquid glass is the first time the company achieved a unified experience across multiple platforms.
That goes way beyond just a new color or a new texture. It suggests a deep aesthetic and functional coherence between the iPhone Air, the Mac, maybe even parts of the Vision Pro. So let's hypothesize on what that functionality could be, because liquid glass sounds like a material science breakthrough. It can't just be a shiny finish.
Could it be related to thermal management? A super efficient material that lets the M5 chip dissipate heat more effectively, which is what enables the most slender iPhone ever?
That's highly probable. I mean, if you look at the constraints of the iPhone Air Ultimate thinness combined with powerful performance, the exterior casing has to serve multiple complex engineering purposes.
It's not just a box anymore.
Not at all. Liquid glass could be a highly durable, flexible ceramic metal composite, something that's extremely thermally efficient, allowing for that radical physical reduction.
And what about wireless? For a device that relies on complex signaling, maybe liquid glass integrates the antennas seamlessly into the material itself.
Eliminating those visible antenna bands, yes, that would further support the claim of a seamless, unified experience.
A unified experience then means when you move from device to device, the look, the feel, the thermal signature, and the quality of the wireless connection all stay consistent.
And if the glass is seamless and liquid, it also speaks to an almost unbroken visual and haptic experience, which is perfect for delivering ambient, non-intrusive AI feedback.
This unified ecosystem has to extend into the accessories too.
It does. The letter explicitly calls out the AirPods Pro 3. They're praised for setting an industry benchmark for sound quality and in-ear active noise cancellation.
And their widely popular status means they have this enormous active installed user base.
But the AirPods Pro 3 are more than just premium audio devices in this strategic narrative. The source material explicitly positions them as the critical link, the natural auditory interface for new AI features.
Specifically, the real-time translation feature from Apple Intelligence.
This is a true breakthrough moment. It weaponizes the device in a new human-centric way. The seamless integration means the AirPod transforms into this inconspicuous global communication tool.
That real-time translation feature running on the M5 chip architecture opens up new communication possibilities across different languages globally.
It makes the AirPods Pro 3 the primary high-volume portal for conversational AI.
I have to pause there and ask about the technical difficulty of that. Real-time translation, especially in a conversation, needs incredibly low latency.
The lowest.
If the processing is happening on the device, as they suggest for privacy, that M5 chip needs to receive the audio, process the language model, translate it, and output the result almost instantly.
Absolutely. Latency is the killer of conversational AI. If there's even a half-second delay, the whole conversation just breaks down. The fact that they're comfortable marketing this in a shareholder letter implies they've overcome those hurdles.
Which further validates the claim of most powerful performance.
Exactly. The M5 is likely optimized with specific neural engine cores designed precisely for this kind of low-latency on-device language processing.
And then before we move on, Cook makes sure to underline the fundamental commitment to health and safety.
He does. He notes receiving user feedback daily about how these features have tangibly improved lives and in critical moments have even saved lives.
That kind of anecdotal evidence, when you include it in an official SEC filing, is not incidental.
No, it anchors all the technological progress in deeply human value. It reminds investors that this technology is sticky, it's protective, and it's deeply embedded in a user's identity, far beyond just a simple quarterly upgrade cycle.
And here's where it gets really, really interesting. All of these product upgrades, the thermal efficiency that allows for the slender iPhone Air, the power of the M5 chip, the real-time translation on the AirPods Pro 3, they're all explicitly tied back to the biggest strategic bet the company's making.
Artificial intelligence.
It all serves the AI imperative.
The strategic gravity of AI cannot be overstated, and this shareholder letter, it treats it as the defining technology of our era.
The company explicitly states its core belief that AI is one of the most profoundly influential technologies of this generation.
And that phrasing is not accidental.
No. It places AI right alongside the introduction of the personal computer, the GUI, the internet, and the iPhone itself. For a company like this to make that claim, it suggests AI isn't just an added feature.
It's a foundational, generational shift in how we interact with information. It's everything.
So how are they tackling this shift?
Their strategy is built to match that importance. It is comprehensive, built from the bottom up, from the chips all the way to the software.
That's the architectural differentiator they want everyone to understand. They're not reliant on public cloud services or external processing. They're ensuring the entire ecosystem, powered by the M5, can support powerful, bespoke AI experiences designed for their environment.
Let's elaborate on what bottom-up architecture actually means for you, the end user. Competitors often rely on massive data centers for their most powerful AI tasks.
So if Apple is building it from the chip, what does that translate to? What's the benefit?
It translates directly to speed, efficiency, and most importantly, privacy. Building from the bottom up means the models are lightweight, highly optimized, and run primarily on your device.
Which allows for instant contextual awareness. The AI is processing your personal data, your photos, messages, scheduled securely, without that data ever leaving the phone in your hand.
It is a fundamental commitment to secure contextual computation.
And this takes us to the philosophy behind their AI implementation, which they've branded Apple Intelligence.
Right. And the company's consistent philosophy is applied directly here, making complex technology simple, intuitive, easy to use.
That simplicity has to be the competitive differentiator they're banking on.
It has to be. The broader AI field, it often demands that users learn complex prompt engineering or navigate technical interfaces. Apple's commitment is to completely frictionless ambient intelligence.
Their goal is to integrate the AI into the background, so it feels like an organic extension of the operating system that just anticipates your needs rather than a separate, complex app you have to actively engage with.
Intelligence without intervention. That's the idea.
But let's play the skeptic for a minute. How can they claim to be leading the AI race by focusing on simplicity when the most powerful, cutting-edge AI models require massive computational resources that usually live in the cloud?
That's the strategic tension they have to navigate.
Is their simplicity just a way of covering up limited capability?
I think Cook's optimism suggests that the M5 chip provides enough power to run extremely capable but personalized models on device. They're not trying to beat general-purpose cloud models at, generating abstract philosophy.
They're focusing on dominating the domain of personal context.
Exactly. They want the AI to understand you better than anyone else, which requires access to your private data, hence the absolute necessity of on-device processing.
And the letter confirms this isn't just a theory. They mention that dozens of Apple Intelligence features are already empowering users in new ways. So this technology is already mature.
They provide specific, tangible examples of what this AI is doing right now. The key examples named are writing tools and visual intelligence.
Okay, so let's analyze those. Writing tools probably involves advanced contextual text generation, summarization, maybe tone adjustments, right?
Yeah. Integrated directly into core apps like email and notes. Imagine the AI observing your typical communication style and then adjusting an email draft to sound more professional or more casual instantly.
And visual intelligence implies sophisticated on-device image recognition and editing. Maybe even generative image capabilities that are private and contextual.
For example, being able to search your entire photo library instantly just using natural language. Or generating a quick image based on a unique memory, all without sending your personal data to a remote server.
And the fact that these are running across the new product line, all powered by that same M5 chip, is crucial for maintaining the privacy promise their whole strategy is based on.
And what's fascinating here is how this integrated architecture creates a cohesive intelligence layer. The M5 chip provides the power. The unified liquid glass design creates the seamless aesthetic.
And the AI capabilities are delivered through these unified devices, like the real-time translation happening via the AirPods Pro 3.
It's an ecosystem-level application of intelligence, not a single bolted-on chatbot. It means the intelligence layer permeates the entire device experience,
Making the phone, the watch, the headphones, and the computer all smarter simultaneously.
and all drawing on the same secure, on-device contextual models. It suggests a future where your devices anticipate your needs based on context gathered across the whole system.
If the writing tools understand, you need a summary of meeting notes from your iPad, and the visual intelligence recognizes a specific person in a group photo from your iPhone.
The experience becomes genuinely seamless and intuitive. And that interconnected, integrated architecture is the real engine driving Cook's optimism. It's a competitive advantage that competitors who rely on disparate hardware and centralized cloud models simply cannot match overnight.
Right. Yet hardware and AI are only part of the story. You always remind us that stability comes from recurring revenue, and the services division continues to be a crucial powerhouse.
It provides the financial resilience that underpins this entire massive AI and hardware investment.
So let's talk about that. The services ecosystem.
It's the critical stabilizer. It's a fundamental driver of growth, especially when hardware cycles might slow down. The letter highlights the continued momentum of this division. It's the financial scaffolding that's necessary to fund these risky long-term investments like the M5 architecture and the Vision Pro.
And the letter details the three classic pillars that define their service experience.
Right? We have Apple Music, which continues to compete robustly in the streaming space. You have Apple Pay, which integrates commerce and financial transactions securely and seamlessly into the mobile experience.
And of course, the App Store, the foundational marketplace for software globally.
The purpose of all these services, as stated in the letter, is to continually create opportunities for users to learn, create, and connect. The services division is the infrastructure layer that enables all the creative endeavors Cook mentioned earlier. It provides the tools and the market access.
And within this powerful services portfolio, it seems like original content, specifically Apple TV, is singled out for some specific, detailed praise.
It is. The content slate has clearly moved beyond just niche appeal. It's now being recognized by mass audiences and critics alike. That signals a maturity and a massive investment that is finally paying off in their content strategy.
The specificity here is paramount for a shareholder letter, right? They have to prove the ROI on that content budget.
Exactly. The letter doesn't just generically say, we have good shows. It names successful titles across multiple genres, demonstrating success across the board and an intelligent distribution of content investment.
We can see that breadth clearly. In comedy, they specifically call out the studio. That suggests they have a mass market hit that delivers broad appeal.
And for prestige drama, two titles are highlighted. The critically acclaimed, long-running Severance.
And the new hit, Pluribus. The inclusion of Pluribus suggests they're actively producing and launching new tentpole dramas that are driving new subscriptions.
And critically, they're diversifying. In the documentary and sports genre, they note the success of F1, Overdrive, which is praised for its cinematic viewing quality.
Which signals a sharp strategic focus on high production value, exclusive documentaries that appeal to highly engaged, passionate, global fan bases.
It maximizes the value of the TV Plus subscription beyond just traditional scripted content.
So this carefully curated portfolio mixing critical darlings, new dramas, global sports. It speaks to a premium, high-quality offering that justifies the subscription price.
And reinforces the overall services revenue stream. This revenue, which is consistent and high margin, is the financial fuel that supports the ambitious hardware R&D we just discussed.
It all circles back.
It all circles back to their core mission of facilitating creativity. The letter reiterates that mission, highlighting the inspiration derived from users who leverage Apple tech to launch new ventures. The services division is just the sophisticated financial and operational scaffolding that supports the massive hardware and AI ambition.
It's the flywheel that keeps the entire ecosystem spinning. So moving from these external product achievements to the company's internal structure, this reveals some fascinating financial and leadership details. It gives us a vital window into the business dynamics at the very top, where the money is allocated and the key decisions are made.
As an official SEC filing, the shareholder letter has to include detailed compensation info. And this always provides the best, most objective insight into how the company values its leaders.
We get the specifics for Tim Cook himself. His 2025 compensation totaled an astonishing $74.3 million.
And while that's an enormous number, a sign of the company's sheer profitability, the source material notes it was a slight decrease. Almost negligible, 0.4% compared to the previous year.
But the key detail, I think, isn't the total number. It's the consistency of his performance incentive. Despite the slight overall decrease, his performance bonus remained extremely high at $12 million.
And that signals a few things. First, the company's internal financial and operational goals were successfully met or exceeded. That justifies the optimism Cook expressed earlier. Second, it confirms strong execution against key financial targets. Revenue growth, profitability, maybe even goals tied to services.
But maybe the most eyebrow-raising detail in this whole section is the compensation contrast we saw during the chief financial officer transition.
Indeed, this isn't just a simple handover. The difference in pay is dramatic and warrants a deep analysis.
We have the data for the outgoing CFO, Luca Maestri. He received $15.5 million.
Right. And then we have the new CFO, Kevon Perrick, who received a substantially higher annual salary and stock package totaling $22.5 million.
That is a staggering 45% jump in compensation for the incoming CFO compared to the veteran who just left. This raises a fundamental question about market dynamics. Why? Why the major pay difference? Luca Maestri was a long-time, highly respected veteran.
Well, the disparity reflects intense market factors and the premium placed on specific skills in the 2026 climate. I think there are a few likely interpretations.
Okay.
First, it could simply be inflation in the market for top-tier financial leadership. Recruiting an executive like Perrick from a competing major tech or finance firm requires an enormous recruitment premium and retention incentive.
And second, the sheer complexity of the company's strategic agenda must factor in. The new CFO isn't just managing existing revenue.
No, they are tasked with financing massive, complex AI infrastructure investments, navigating global tax structures for the services expansion, and potentially overseeing new M&A activities in the AI sector. The scope of responsibility for navigating the next 10 years of platform transformation justifies a massive pay hike.
It shows that even at the very top, in a company known for its efficiency, they are willing to pay an extraordinary premium to secure the talent they believe is absolutely essential for the next generation.
The transition itself tells a story. It's about prioritizing future capabilities over historical tenure.
And beyond the financial details, the letter and related news also provide context on broader management dynamics, specifically high-profile departures that signal a changing of the guard.
We learned about the departure of a 27-year veteran and global corporate sales VP, Mark Rogers, who's leaving later in the year.
27 years. That's a lifetime in the tech industry. His departure really emphasizes a generational shift, where the leaders who built the last era are now making way for new talent.
And perhaps the most prominent retirement noted is that of senior executive Dan Riccio. His departure is handled with a specific nod to his legacy. The letter confirms that the Vision Pro served as his final product contribution.
That is highly symbolic.
It is. Tying a major foundational product launched their entry into spatial computing directly to the end of a long-term leader's tenure acts as a visible passing of the torch.
Riccio was instrumental in developing core hardware, like the iPad and Mac.
So his departure suggests that the foundational hardware work for this next great platform is complete. And now the focus shifts to software and the ecosystem under new leadership. It closes a major chapter in their hardware design history.
In a different but necessary vein, we should also note the contextual report about internal workplace environment challenges.
Right. The VP of Fitness Technology was accused of fostering a toxic workplace environment. A company spokesman explicitly denied this.
And while that's not a focus of the shareholder letter itself, these external factors provide necessary context. Governance and internal management remain constant challenges, even in times of extreme product optimism.
Absolutely. The shareholder letter is a presentation of the ideal optimistic future, but these types of reports remind us that internal organizational health requires constant attention.
Finally, the section confirms Cook's continued deep global focus, which is essential for maintaining supply chain stability and tapping into critical consumer bases.
He was noted as making his third visit to China that year, affirming that without Chinese partners, the company would not have achieved its success today, and confirming continued investment in the Chinese market.
That's critical high-profile global engagement for a CEO, especially given global trade tensions.
It reinforces the importance of international supply chains and consumer bases to the core financial health of a corporation. And the letter also included a philanthropic dimension, mentioning donations to earthquake relief in Myanmar and Thailand.
Which effectively positions the company as a responsive global citizen and reinforces that values-based narrative we saw in the first section.
It all ties together.
So we've covered the ground, the internal shifts, the financial motivations, the global outlook, all woven into this comprehensive narrative of technological maturity and unprecedented success. The message is clear. The foundation is laid, and the AI era is here.
We've had a deep and thorough dive into Cook's 2026 shareholder letter, moving beyond the superficial headlines to the real strategic substance. To recap the core takeaways, we saw a declaration of optimism built on a record-breaking hardware cycle.
Including that technologically challenging iPhone 17 Pro and the strategically significant, extremely slender iPhone Air.
We analyzed the strategic leap into AI, branded Apple Intelligence, which relies on simplicity, privacy, and deep bottom-up integration with the M5 chip architecture.
And we explored the fascinating financial dynamics revealed by executive pay, specifically that 45% contrast in CFO compensation,
Yeah.
which signals a massive premium being placed on new, high-level leadership talent.
Cook's letter is ultimately a powerful statement of synergy. Everything is connected. The M5 chip is powerful enough to enable the slender design and the on-device AI.
The AirPods Pro 3 are the auditory portal for that real-time translation. The whole system is designed to make intelligence ambient and effortless.
But what does this unified vision truly mean for the future of device design? Especially for you, the user, who's interacting with this ecosystem every single day.
We heard about the new design language, liquid glass, which unifies the experience across multiple platforms. And this is more than just aesthetics, it's an architectural decision.
So, if this material is designed to be unified, simple, and intuitive, and every device from the iPhone Air to the Vision Pro incorporates this specific glass and the M series chip,
How fundamentally will our interaction change when that physical barrier between using the technology and experiencing the unified intelligence disappears entirely?
if the devices themselves become these indistinguishable, seamless surfaces for accessing a single pervasive intelligence, what happens to the concept of opening a separate app?
Right.
The ambition is clearly for the operating system and the AI layer to dissolve directly into the architecture and the materials themselves. The liquid glass isn't just a casing, it's the physical manifestation of a unified OS.
That's the provocative thought we want to leave you with. What does a liquid glass unified operating system truly feel like? When the technology you interact with is designed to be simultaneously the most powerful and the most slender, what new, non-traditional forms of creation, communication, and connectivity will that physical and intellectual breakthrough unlock? That's something for you to mull over as you consider the future of your own seamlessly integrated tech ecosystem.